Hey, it's Josh from 100 North Outdoors. In this video, we're headed down to the hill country of Texas to hunt axis deer, blackbuck antelope, and wild hogs.
This is the most action I've had this trip so far.
We're hunting in a completely foreign environment, hoping to shoot the animal of a lifetime. With only 3.5 days to hunt and cows and whitetails getting in our way, this hunt could go big or bust. So stick around, it's gonna be fun. Oh boy, it's the morning time. Oh, we're getting ready. Luke Nichols always espoused the ideals of adhesive hand warmers and foot warmers, so we're trying it out this morning. These things say they're supposed to last for 10 hours. But you just take this bad boy and you stick it to the bottom of your sock. I don't know. My feet were kind of cold yesterday.
My feet were freezing.
Your feet were freezing yesterday? Keeping extremities warm is always the hardest part of this cold weather stuff for me, so I'm kind of looking forward to trying this out. I'm glad you got them, Pops. Thank you.
For sure.
All right, in the stand on day 2. See you when the sun comes up.
So why did a bunch of Indiana boys drive cross-country to hunt this ranch? Other than the fact that it's just a cool thing to do, it started back in 2022 when my parents came to visit family down here. My father spent a good portion of that trip walking the ranch and remembering the impact this place had on him as a young man. It was on one of those walks that he came across something he wasn't expecting: a herd of spotted deer, invasive axis deer. And according to his godmother, these invasives had the best tasting venison you could find. And so a plan began to form, to make memories with his sons and relive the hunts of his youth. 4 years later, we're finally making it happen.
Oh my goodness. My first game species of the morning. It's a squirrel. Even in Texas, you can't dodge them. It is so weird looking at 8 deer and just being like, oh man, that's not what I wanted to see. It's still fun to watch them nonetheless. The other buck from yesterday just rolled in, so I think this is the same group we were watching yesterday morning at the other blind. Was pretty crazy. There was a herd of like 10 axis does that came flying through. I never even remotely had a shot. They were way deep in the woods and I just saw glimpses of them. They came in from the field way over here. I saw them at like probably 250 yards, moving really fast and ducking into the woods. And they cruised along this wood line really deep. They never slowed down. They never came in. I did hear somebody shoot. Nobody's claimed the shot on the group text yet, but somebody did shoot. Okay, Dad said he just shot one and that they were headed back my direction. These dudes travel fast. A lot of the time I don't see them stop very much. I'm glad Dad got on a deer. Now we're all really hoping Mark can find himself one as well. Another little known species down here in Texas. They've got a huge body, but their antler growth just isn't that good. I think they call them goose deer or cow's deer. Here, take a look. Pretty crazy. You don't see that every day. I think I'm gonna let them walk though. There are some species that on our trail cameras down here, they actually seem to be more likely to come through in the midday. The blackbuck being one of them, so trying to commit to a longer sit today. Maybe an all-day sit. So I brought the lunch, rocking a turkey and cheese sandwich. Gonna try to eat as slowly as possible.
It was about this time that JD checked in. He was doing a little scouting on the west side of the property when he bumped and shot an axis doe. Day 2, and we were well on our way to filling up our coolers.
I've been sitting on a cooler for 2 straight days because there's not enough chairs for all of us. I'm officially sore. Oh. 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 This is better. This is nice. Well, it's been 3 or 4 hours since last time I saw an animal, and my white-tailed does are back. We'll take it. Yeah, here they all come. At least it's something to look at. That was a pretty long dry spell. It seems like the other blind is where all the magic has happened. They moved Mark over there. Now they've got 2 vantages on what we're finding out is a well-established trail. That's the same place I shot mine yesterday.
Over in the ground blind, Mark and JD had set up on a known trail. Since JD had already shot a black buck yesterday, it was Mark's turn to shoot. They spent some time watching white-tailed does feed and young bucks sparring with each other. Finally, in the mid-afternoon, another small group of axis does appears. Far off and dodging between heavy cover, Mark demonstrates the patience of ethical hunting, and he waits for a better opportunity. But with the shot from this morning still ringing in their ears, the axis don't come in. They return the way they came, eventually fading away into the oak flat.
That doe down there was on alert for like 5 minutes. It's really locked into watching something. It wasn't me. It started on the left side of my stand, and I keep looking. You know, what is it that she's so keyed in on? And she follows it around behind my stand, and I don't hear any footsteps. So I'm thinking, like, what could she possibly be looking at? Or she's just smelling the wind, like, what's going on? And it keeps going all the way out and to the right, and it's a house cat. Known predators of the whitetail. Ferocious. It's 3:30. Got about 2.5 hours left in our sit. It has been really slow today. Just hoping his golden hour is approaching, that this all-day sit pays off. We'll see. We're getting near the end now. I've had a bunch of cows walking back and forth on this trail to water today, and bedding in the woods that are out here in front of me. And I think that's just pushing the deer away. Well, we're gonna get a bit desperate here. The cows are just killing this spot. They are all over me. So I'm gonna cut into these woods and try to do a spot and stalk. Honestly, it's kind of a desperation play, but I don't think staying here is gonna be productive at all.
This was a 2-part plan. My walk had the possibility of pushing the axis back towards Mark's position, and if I could be stealthy enough, perhaps put me on a deer as well. However, inexperienced as I am with Texan terrain, I did not factor in one key variable to this plan. The ground was dry. Very, very dry. So when I entered the oak flat, it sounded like this. I only saw the tails of deer in the distance as they fled the loudest creature they had ever heard in their woods. So I bailed out to the nearest path and looped around to a watering hole to sit out the evening.
Well, I crept down here to the watering hole, and there's a big old whitetail buck. I had a couple does, but no axis deer down here. Well, it's getting dark. I don't have any way to shoot, so we're gonna get out of here.
Well, everybody, good morning. It is day 3. Yesterday was pretty slow in my stand. They had a little bit more excitement in the other stand. I think everyone's moving a little slower. Day 3 of the trip, the fatigue starts setting in. So we're gonna get out there and we'll see what happens.
Out of font today. In directional order.
We gave the for a little bit of time, and some deer came in, not axis, just whitetail, but now we're getting iced out by some cows. I have a limited window to hunt this morning because I gotta go do my real job for part of the day. We're gonna mosey on down to the watering hole again where I saw those whitetail last night and just see if anything's there before I gotta go back to the house and work.
Really hoping Mark can find that right opportunity today. And if you're bummed out by this part of the video where I have to go back and do my day job, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe so I can afford to take more time away from my day job to do full trips like these. It's time for the evening sit. John David has been keeping tabs on very mature blackbuck antelope all afternoon. It's not anywhere where we can shoot it, but we're hoping it'll come over. But I told him if that blackbuck antelope gets there and he shoots a second one and I don't get to shoot one at all, I will actually cry. So we're gonna hoof it.
So I saw one blackbuck doe trotting across the fence when I had the UTV parked between these two trees. Yeah. And I was very still, and she didn't notice me until she got to the fence line. Yeah. And she noticed me and went back the other way. You look over there at the ridge line, about 500 yards. They're sitting on the ridge, and it's the blackbuck, the big blackbuck, and probably 5 or 6 doe. Well, I guess we're chilling here for a bit, huh? I'm not leaving until they disappear. Yeah. The buck and those does are like 500 yards away and not really coming our way. To be anywhere near him though is just very cool. He is such an impressive animal. We're just gonna hang out and see what happens. It's a long way for them to come.
Now, I know that blackbuck is far away, but this wasn't the first time we'd seen him. We had pictures of him on our trail cameras and had a pretty good idea of where he was entering and exiting the property. The only question that remained was if he would come in tonight. This position wasn't ideal. We were surrounded by an open grass flat, but the wind was in our favor, so we sat on the only piece of cover we had for 100 yards and waited.
Okay, we gotta go check one spot real quick and see if there's any animals in one spot. If one of us has to stay here and watch this group, they're so far away, they might as well be on a different planet at the moment, and they're not doing anything. But I'm gonna go and do a quick stalk. I crept up on an armadillo. Here, I'll point you at it. Okay, just whitetail over here. And he's starting to mosey back, so I'm gonna get out of here. Just some whitetail does over there. Okay. I mean, more might have come in, but who knows? It was just a doe and a fawn. Now John David gets to see how hard that squat walk is. That is a marathon. For how far you have to do that. Okay, they disappeared again. The last I saw them, they were moving generally. Look what I found. Whoa. Oh, shit. That's pretty cool. I'll tell you what. I'm really grateful to have some thick pants out here. I brought my thin pants and my thick pants. ones, and even when it's been warm outside, I've been wearing the thick ones because there's just all kinds of stuff like this. Even if you don't walk into a cactus, just here in the sand, just constantly getting poked. Very glad to have some thick, sturdy pants in this terrain. Oh my gosh, Mark just shot a hog. That was like the one thing he wanted to shoot this trip. Oh my gosh.
And it turned out our hunt was heating up as well. As we approached golden hour, animals started to move. We saw groups of whitetail with axis intermixed moving into the bedding cover. But we had one problem. A solo axis doe was on course to cross 40 yards away from us, and we had a decision to make. If the doe crossed the fence so close, she would likely see us and alert the rest of the animals to our presence. But if we shoot, it also might push animals away. These are the gambles that make or break a hunt. A perfect high shoulder shot, dropping her in place. As we look back across the field, the best possible outcome had happened. Instead of alerting to the gunshot, the commotion actually pulled the blackbuck and two of his does and a bunch of deer closer. He closes from 500 yards to 250, and it begins to look like he might come in. But instead of using the same path as the axis, he's going to cross beyond the rise. We decide to loop around to try to intercept him.
Okay, we've got to make a play. That one shot is just too far. And more things might cross down there. And the blackbuck, if it does come over, is going to cross down there. We're going to go and reposition. Okay, we made a big move. And here comes some deer across. I think they're whitetails. Oh, dude, they're goats or there's something else. What do you want to do? Okay, let's wait. We are absolutely covered up in game right now. This is the most action I've had this trip so far. This is crazy. We are surrounded by whitetail, trans-urials, and axis deer. These cows over here are like, what the heck are these idiots doing? Yeah, we're gonna do it.
So we did this big loop around, and we just stopped several times to not get busted by a whitetail. But we saw 2 whitetail bucks.
2 Trans-Caspian Urials.
2 Trans-Caspian Urials. It's kind of sheep. They're ewes. The rams aren't here, but those are scabies from an exotic farm around here that are just running wild.
And they're pretty cool looking.
They're pretty cool looking. That was on the menu if we could have gotten a shot, but this is the first time we saw them, and they were skylined on a ridge, like right on a property border. We weren't going to shoot them, really no shot at all.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see them because we haven't seen them all week, even though we had seen them on camera coming up to the trip.
We got, yet again, cows kind of messed us up.
Yeah, the cows spooked those deer and those sheep. Wow. What a day.
As the evening draws to a close and the commotion dies down, the blackbuck decides not to follow the herd of whitetail and Trans-Caspian Urials and doesn't come over. He leaves the 2 does and goes back to tending the herd, eventually disappearing over the ridge. We return to field dress the axis doe. And if you're interested, here's a hand and knife cleaning tip I've picked up along the way. After field dressing your deer, cover your knife in dirt and use the grit to remove the fatty residue that's built up. Next, take a mouthful of water and slowly release it onto the blade. The dirt will wash away much easier. I've found I can clean a knife and my hands with 1 mouthful of water this way.
Good.
All right, we have 3 animals here that you guys did not get to see what happens. So there's 3 animals that I wasn't there during the hunt. I mentioned it when it happened, but we haven't really seen or heard how they happened. So we'll just go like left to right. John David, what happened with your axis doe there?
I was trying to remember what. She's small. I was out on the west side of the property looking for blackbuck or anything else that came through, and she popped through the fence, skirted through. It was sort of a quick shot, and honestly, it wasn't a great first shot, so it took a follow-up.
And you bumped a pig at the same time, right?
I did. So I shot her, and I knew it wasn't a great shot, so I started tracking her, and then as I was tracking her, I bumped a pig, and I shot at that. Missed. But in tracking the pig, thinking, hey, maybe I go follow up that, I found her and did a follow-up shot, and yeah, now I'm gonna butcher her up tonight.
That's awesome. So what happened with this this middle deer?
So it was great hunting with you men because we could all kind of coordinate and work together. Got a call or a text message that, hey, there's a group of axis, there's 10 or 12 axis coming in from the south end, and sure enough, a whole group of, I don't know, 6 or 8 does come charging through the woods. They stop and look back. I lined up on one of them, but another one was right behind it. So I didn't want to pierce 2 animals with one bullet. So I switched, I targeted this animal, good placement, and it collapsed within 20 yards.
Smoked it. It's a good shot.
It was all right.
It. Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was a spike buck until John David arrived to help me pick it up.
That's a big doe. It's a spike.
It's not a doe. It's a spike.
Honestly,
so
the antlers are so brown and velvet. It, like
kind of looked
it
like
looked like ears. I mean,
yeah,
I shot this at about 100, 120 yards, so I did not pick out the antlers at all.
And just for the record, like this is not like a trophy, like farm by any means. This is not high fence.
It's no fence.
It's no fence. So it's, I mean, it's kind of a, like, we'd love to shoot a big deer, a big buck, but we're here to harvest meat and fill the freezer. The outlier of the group,
we were coming out and we're like, why don't we just swing by the pond, see if anything's there while we come by.
Yep.
And we see a doe go by like 10 feet in front of it, and we're like, all right, so we're going slow. And Papa pulls up, he's like, that's a pig, there's a bunch of pigs, get them. And so I hop out and I line up, they're all scattering. I get one snapshot on the big one in the back of the group and just instantly down.
Knocked it. And we heard the shot from across the other side of the property. It's like, boom! You can really hear your rifle go off. And we're like, oh my God! We started celebrating before we even got the text. We were so excited.
Yeah. And this is the first animal you've ever harvested.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, I've tried a few times. I've had terrible luck until today.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good first one.
That's a really
I'm
good
proud of
first animal, man. You should be really proud of that.
All right, we have a ton of work ahead of us tonight.
So much work. So we're gonna butcher these animals, and we'll probably see you in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh boy, all good things must come to an end. Packing it up. We got 2 very full coolers right here, full of much protein. We got about 17 hours to do in the car. I'm gonna drive all afternoon and then through the night. We had a good time. Got to see a lot of crazy animals that we don't get to see or hunt back home. I think everybody got a little bit of what they wanted. It was very productive. As I consider our time in Texas, I am filled with gratitude that somehow our schedules aligned so that we could all go on this trip together. There is something incredible about seeing these animals roam the Texan hills. They're not supposed to be here, and yet, I'm happy that they are. I will likely never have the opportunity to hunt these animals in their native countries, but because of a few broken fences, I can hunt them right here. And even though I'm not coming home with a trophy for my wall, I am returning with memories that will last a lifetime and a cooler full of protein for my family. Besides, the one that got away just gives us something to dream about for next time. Texas is a crazy place.
Good.
We just passed some place called a rhinory. It's a winery that has pet rhinos in the hill country of Texas.
Wander the vineyards.
Where rhinos and wine meet for a unique hill country experience.
Rhino ranching, the next big thing.
That is hilarious.